Have you ever been to the store and thought you're walking down the aisles and you're seeing all the different things you can buy and you're in the produce section? Have you ever wondered, is that organic tomato really worth that much more than the conventional tomato? Or is that organic cucumber really worth that much more than a conventional cucumber? Here are just a few price comparisons that I've noticed. Um, Organic milk, $4.09 versus conventional milk, $2.99. Simply Truth strawberry non or 1% milk fat yogurt, $1.19. Yoplait original and strawberry, 60 cents each. Simply Truth cage free grain fed eggs, $3.47 per dozen. Ordinary grade A eggs are $1.69 per dozen. So have you ever wondered, what is it that makes organic so much better, or is it really worth it? Um, I I have wondered that going to the grocery store a lot of times. I've looked at the things, I've looked at it and said, is it really worth it? I don't know. Like, I want to make the best decision for my health. Is it really worth it? I am interested in health and I've done a lot of research on this topic. And through the research that I've done uh, for this particular speech, I feel like skipping the organic produce and sticking to conventional is a good idea for me. And I want to share the information that I've gotten in doing this and maybe help you to see the differences. I will be discussing a few different things. I'll be discussing the costs associated with organic versus conventional. I'll be discussing the nutritional differences and also how beneficial fruits and vegetables are, no matter if they're conventional or organic. Just a disclaimer, I'm not trying to say that organic is bad, but I am merely trying to say that it is good to be informed on the different options. The first topic I wanted to discuss was cost, because that's a big factor for all of us, I think. A gallon of organic milk costs $4.09 versus the conventional at $2.99, according to a poll taken in the magazine Metro Parent. In a Slate article that I read, a woman talks about how she only bought organic when her child was little, and the older and older that her son got, the more and more she wondered if that $7 pint of strawberries, organic strawberries, was worth it, especially since he was going through one every 2 days. That cost can really add up. And so she, in her article, explored a lot of different things that had to do with organic and conventional farming and determined in the end that it wasn't necessarily better to get the organic and it wasn't worth it because of the cost. And then this brings me into my next topic. She found that there wasn't really much more to it that made it more nutritionally sound. So the next topic I wanted to discuss is organic more nutritionally sound? A Stanford study that has been cited a lot recently found that, in fact, organic does not lead to general better nutrition. With that being said, a person must understand, of course, that pesticides are a problem on both sides of the coin. So organic farmers use pesticides as well as conventional farmers. There are differences, but they both use them in different forms. The first thing, you must always wash all produce that you get because of pesticide residue, whether it's conventional or organic. It's just a good idea to do it either way. Organic does not necessarily mean pesticide free. There are synthetic pesticides which are used in conventional farming, and there are natural pesticides that are used in organic farming. Rotenone, a commonly used pesticide in organic farming, is far more toxic than a lot of the conventional pesticides. The EPA has set exposure limits per day for that pesticide, and it is 0.004 milligrams per kilogram of body weight per day. Compare that with a commonly used synthetic pesticide, malathion, which has a limit of 0.02 milligrams per kilogram of body weight per day. That is 5 times more than the amount for rotenone. That means you can be exposed to 5 times more of the synthetic pesticide as opposed to the natural pesticide rotenone. It's interesting to note that Roundup's exposure is 0.1 milligrams per kilogram per day. That is 25 times less toxic than rotenone, the natural pesticide. Of course, this isn't the case for all pesticides, and this is just some of the commonly used pesticides for natural farming or organic farming and synthetic farming. The problem is that farmers often have to use a lot of the natural pesticide because they break down faster, explains Linda Chalker-Scott, a professor of horticulture and landscape architecture at Washington State University. One of the benefits of some of the more traditional synthetic pesticides is that they have been manufactured to be more effective at lower doses. So just to sum up what she was saying there, some of the organic farmers have to use a little bit more of their natural pesticides just because it's less effective and it breaks down easier. But on the other side of the coin, conventional farmers, they've been using pesticides for a long time now, and they are manufactured to be more effective at lower doses, so you're not using as much for conventional farming. The last topic that I wanted to address is that eating more fruits and vegetables, conventional or organic, is beneficial to our bodies. Proper and safe practices when eating your fruits and vegetables is always advised, whether it's organic or conventional. Research suggests that with most all fruits and vegetables, tap water rinsing and rubbing diminishes the amount of pesticide residue. Melinda Winter-Moyer of Slate said, "If you ever did ingest a pesticide at or above the EPA's limit, you wouldn't suddenly keel over and die. The agency sets pesticide limits at least 100 times lower than the lowest dose that caused any sign of harm." So I wanted to repeat that statement because I think it's important to understand. The agency, this is the EPA's limits on pesticide use. The agency sets pesticide limits at least 100 times lower than the lowest dose that caused any sign of harm. Melinda Winter-Moyer also stated, "I've walked into markets with a hungry kid and I've been so afraid to buy the conventional apple that I've gotten him a snack pack of Annie's crackers instead. And I know that there are parents who buy the Peter Rabbit's organic fruit pouches at Starbucks because they don't know whether the bananas on display are organic. These aren't smart moves. It is far, far better for your kids' long-term health to get them in the habit of eating whole fruits and vegetables, regardless of what type of farm they came from, than to give them pretty much anything else to eat, no matter how organic or all natural it may be." So in conclusion, all this information and some of the other information I've read tells me that if we want to be healthy, that what we should be doing is getting more fruits and vegetables, and that we should stop worrying about whether it's conventional or organic. We should practice safe washing and prep habits, and we will be fine. I understand that not everyone will believe what I say, and I'm not trying to change you from organic to conventional. However, I do think that it is important to do research and learn for yourself rather than believing what is socially popular or seems right, or things that you've read in certain places. I was surprised at what I learned by doing some research. That is my invitation to you. Learn about the issue for yourself so that you can make the right choices for your family.